In the last video, I called out Giancarlo Stanton, and he answered that call. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and let's go through all three games. Firstly, game one, a little bit of a dud, but it wasn't all bad. There were a lot of positives to take out of it, namely Marcus Stroman. He has quickly turned into the most reliable starter in this rotation. His sinker is so pinpoint. There is no hitter in baseball that's able to hit it at this point. Now, of course, he will have a few games. There were a few pitches in this game he left a little high. He gave up a double to lead off because it was a little high. It wasn't the perfect start. A lot of people say it's how you perform when you don't have your A+ stuff that proves your worth as a pitcher. He did not have his A++ stuff. He had very good stuff. I'm not going to take that away from him. Not having that A+ stuff, and he still did not give up a run over 6 innings. The only starter of this weekend series to give us length, to actually keep us in this game for a long stretch of time. He has done a fantastic job in adapting to the Yankees. He has kind of made his own path, being more flamboyant, being more boisterous, being more out there. I love that. Show some emotion if that's who you are. And he's proving that just being himself is getting the job done. So that's all we can really talk about in game one. Not really the most entertaining game. Another thing, Nick Birdy should not be a New York Yankee. I am sorry, this may be harsh, but he had 2 games in this series, both of them. He does not know how to control his shit. Does he have raw talent? That 97 fastball. He has a big slider. Good talent. Maybe a little bit of potential. My God, he kind of ruined the game. In that bottom of the 8th, in that top of the 9th inning, where we were only down 1, and he comes in and walks the bases loaded, then throws a wild pitch to score that run, then throws another wild pitch to score another run. This kid does not deserve to be in the major league. He may have the talent to maintain a spot. We have a roster spot because Jonathan Loaisiga is out. He does not deserve to be in high leverage situations, especially. He deserves to be in the minors. He deserves to be developing his skills until he is ready. He looks tentative. He looks like he's trying way too hard. Either he needs to step it up or he needs to be sent down. That is the one thing that Aaron Boone has pissed me off with this year so far, is bringing in Nick Birdy in this series in high leverage situation. He's not the reason we lost, but he's part of it, because that rally at the end, Verdugo would not have had to try and swing for the fences if Birdy did not give up those runs. He could have tried to get a base hit, scored Rizzo from second, and we may have been able to squeak out of there with a win. Let's not harp on it, because the next game, the offense stepped up against their ace of a pitcher, Kevin Gausman, who has given the Yankees so many problems in the past. Juan Soto frustrates him, goes from 0-2 to 3-2 and walks. A classic Juan Soto at bat. Part of the value he brings as a threat, being the best hitter at age 25 of all time. Pitchers don't want to pitch to him, even with 2 strikes, because he's even scarier at that point. He gets walked, it brings up Judge, and then it's kind of the reverse of what we thought would happen. It's a walk by Soto to lead to Judge getting great pitches. He got a sinker, he launches it. Home run, and that's how we get things started. And we did not turn back from there. Soto walks, Judge homer. Later on in the inning, Giancarlo Stanton comes up. This is the topic of today's video. Giancarlo Stanton answered the call. I called him out pretty heavy in my last video, and I was a little bit tentative to post it because of how harsh I was on him. I do like Giancarlo Stanton, and I hope that that was relayed in that video. I do like Giancarlo Stanton as a Yankee. He takes accountability. He does not blame fans for booing. He kind of he's a lunch pail guy. He'll grab his lunch and get to work. He has finally made some adjustments that, if they continue, could change the trajectory of what I thought would happen this season. You saw in game 2, he takes more of those sliders outside, and you're like, okay, that's a good sign. But there's one glaring issue in Giancarlo Stanton's offense he had all of last year: the lack of ability to hit a fastball. Last year, he hit only 4 hard hits on fastball when he was thrown over 200 fastballs. That ain't gonna cut it. Giancarlo Stanton in 2 games has been thrown 4 fastballs, and he hit 2 of them out of the park. Giancarlo Stanton is adjusting. And yeah, they were not the hardest throwing fastballs. He wasn't even able to hit those last year. So the fact that he took a fastball up and away and he was able to drive it to right field, the fan may have helped him, may not have, who cares? That's a welcome sign. And then in game 3, to be able to hit that grand slam in a big moment right after Heel was struggling. There's rookie starter in trouble, and you cap it off the way he did. This is the type of offense we expected from Stanton since 2018, and we're finally getting it. We're gonna hope that he can harness these 2 games, because this is the problem at times with Giancarlo Stanton. He has 2 weeks like this, and then he goes back to a pumpkin. Let's hope this time is different. He's able to harness it and actually be able to produce big numbers, because at this rate he could go for 30-70 in terms of the RBIs. That's an amazing season. Giancarlo Stanton shows that he is making some adjustments. Let's hope that continues, but let's stick with game 2, because game 2 was very interesting. We take a 9-2 lead, or this is where some of the troubles happen with the bullpen. This is where some of the bullpen troubles happen. Caleb Ferguson gave up a home run. Luke Weaver came in for 2 to 3 innings. During that 3rd inning, he shit the bed, gave up 3 runs. It's like, okay, it went from 9-2 to 9-5. And then Victor Gonzalez comes in. He gets the ground ball. They go to Ian Hamilton, a guy who has been rock solid, and he struggles. This is probably the worst I've seen Ian Hamilton. He gives up a few runs. The bullpen really struggled in this series, and I'm hoping that doesn't continue forward, because we had, over the first 2 series, the best bullpen in baseball. This series kind of dropped that down. Let's hope that this is just an anomaly and not overarching factor of this season. The bullpen is going to be very necessary. The one thing that would help the bullpen, though, is if our starters could get a little bit of length. As in that game 2, Clark Schmidt with a 6-0 lead and a 9-2 lead could not get past the 5th inning. That is not good. And that is why, even though Luis Heel had a bad inning in game 3, Clark Schmidt is still the odd man out when Cole gets back to me. Heel had to work through adversity in a 0-0 game. Clark Schmidt created adversity in a 6-0 game. That's the difference. Clark Schmidt is inconsistent. His control, even in a situation where we have such a good lead, you cannot walk the first batter. You cannot walk 2 of the first 3 batters. It's not acceptable to only go 4 1/3 in a game that we're up 6-0. This is by far the reason why he's the odd man out. He has to go when Cole gets back, and not go as in like off the team. He is better utilized out of the bullpen. I've been saying this from Jump Street. He is a better pitcher out of the bullpen. He is good for 1 to 2 innings. He could even be an extended reliever. Give us the 3 innings that Luke Weaver was. Like, I would much rather Clark Schmidt in that spot than Luke Weaver. Clark Schmidt as our number 5 starter is not going to cut it. We survive and advance behind the backs of Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, all hitting home runs. A constant during this series is Anthony Volpe is still stepping up, and that comes in huge in game 3 as he goes 3 for 4. This kid is going absolutely off right now. He is on fire. This swing change has been the best thing that has happened to a player that I have seen. It's probably the quickest adjustment I've seen a guy do that's yielded the most result. I've seen guys adjust in the past. No adjustment has made such a difference, and it happened with a snap of a finger. It took 1 offseason for Anthony Volpe to say, you know what? Screw this uppercut that I've had my entire minor league career. Let me flatten out the swing, sort of gain a DJ LeMahieu-esque swing. You now see him on high pitches. He's able to swing the other way. Pitches low and in, he's able to pull, but not try and elevate. He keeps the ball on the ground, which does work out in his favor, because with his speed and just his contact ability with this swing, he's finding holes left and right. This swing is the best adjustment I've seen a player make. And right now, he has the highest WAR in the American League. That's higher than Kyle Tucker. That's higher than Aaron Judge. That's higher than Juan Soto. That's higher than Mike Trout. He right now, through 10 games, has the highest WAR in the American League. The only player higher than him is Mookie Betts, who is probably the runaway MVP in the National League. He has been absolutely outstanding. And in Game 3, he showed it. Let's talk about Luis Gil, because I did give Clark Schmidt some shit. Let's talk about that inning for Luis Gil. I'm not going to do the fanboy thing and just blame Angel Hernandez for everything. He was awful behind the plate. That's not the full reason why that inning happened. I think the best way it was explained to me is when me and my dad were watching this game, and he looks at me and he says, look, I love Luis Gil, but he will have innings like this. He will have games like this because of how many things he incorporates into his arsenal. He has 4 pitches, and all of them do very different things. His fastball, his changeup, his breaking pitches, they all do very different things. So at times, he has so much stuff and so much break on all those pitches that at times it's going to be hard to find the zone. And I agree with him, even though through the first game and through the first 2 innings, his control has been impeccable. He had 1 bad inning, and I'm seeing fans give up on him, jump off the train. Yeah, this shows why Luis Gil's the number 5 starter. Yeah, he's going to be the odd man out. This start showed me that he has an ability to fight through this adversity. Only gave up 1 run through that inning that in some ways was started by Angel Hernandez. That in a lot of ways could have been ended. Luis Gil, to me, the talent he has, and he showed it in this game. Again, that changeup, and I'll say it in every video that I do with him pitching in it, the best changeup I've seen in over a decade. He, to me, showed a lot more than Clark Schmidt did. He had to deal with the game being tight when he ran into trouble. And yes, he put himself into trouble at times, but he worked himself out of it and he kept the Yankees in it when we needed him to keep us in it. And that led to the other Giancarlo Stanton home run. Again, off of a fastball. Again, taking the low and outside pitch. Giancarlo Stanton, I brought it up earlier, amazing 2 games. Let's hope that continues, but Luis Gil kept us in that game for the amount of time he did. And that, to me, should be commended. Now, I do not like the fact that we almost blew this game. Overall, a great series for the boys. They are now 8-2. In the most difficult stretch of games that they probably have all year, and probably the most difficult stretch of games that have been played all season. That should send warning shots to any team in the league, any American League team. I'm talking about you, Houston. I'm talking about you, Baltimore. This should send warning signs. We don't have our ace. Jonathan Loaisiga got injured. This should definitely put people on notice. This new team is different. They are definitely contenders, and they're a team you need to watch out for. Because although Boston had a good stretch of games while they were playing the Angels, you had Baltimore even playing the Angels. All these teams that have great records, they were playing teams like the Angels, like the Athletics. The Yankees went through a gauntlet. They went through Houston, Arizona, and Toronto. Best team in the AL according to most, the NL champions from 2023. And the dark horse to win the AL East. All those series swept Houston. Warning shots. You better watch yourself because we're coming. Hopefully you enjoyed. We're playing Miami next. We finally get our break of a series. Hopefully the Yankees don't. A difficult series because there are times where the Yankees have done that to themselves. We'll see what happens. We have Nestor on the bump today. Then we have Rodon. And then you have Stroman on Wednesday. Hopefully you enjoy the games. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. New here, hit that sub button. I'll be back after the next series. Take care and peace.